right, guys, welcome to Mobility Flow Live. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I want to start by saying I hope everybody is feeling healthy and their family and their friends are healthy at this time, and I hope everyone is maintaining good spirits as best we can at this time. So before I get into the details of the class, I'm going to talk about what you need today for today's class. So I'll give everybody a moment to go and grab those things. So you will need some type of a yoga block. So I know some of you actually have a yoga block at home. If you do not worry about that. Any type of thick book will do. Yes, this is a Twilight book. Yes, I've read the Twilight book. Thick preferably. If you don't have a book, that's fine. I will demonstrate the exercises that you will be using a block for, and I'll kind of forego that as well if you don't have one. And then ideally some type of blanket or towel that you can fold over. This would be more for people that need extra support underneath their knees, because we are going to do a little bit of work on our knees, and perhaps a little bit of support underneath the abdomen when we're lying on the belly, because again, some people find it really difficult to lie on their stomach for their low back. But a lot of these props are actually not completely necessary, so if you don't have them, don't worry. So I'm going to give everyone a moment just to go grab what they need to grab, and I'm going to start to talk about the synopsis of what we're going to do today. And if anyone has any questions before we get started, my cameraman, Bilal, you may know him.
Hey.
He's there and he's going to be helping me out with any questions that are filtering in. Okay, don't worry if you don't have the props yet. Don't worry if you don't have them all together. If you have a yoga mat, fantastic. If you don't, then definitely you'll want something to support your knees. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to do for today's class. So we're going to talk about shoulder stability. So what exactly does that mean? Building strength and integrity in the muscles and the tissues that allow us to move our shoulder, okay? Shoulder is incredibly mobile and incredibly vulnerable to injury because of its excessive mobility. So today we're going to do exercises that are going to teach us how to control that mobility through isolated strengthening exercises. And this is really important for anybody who has a shoulder, but it's also really, really important for those of you at Free Run who's saying hi.
Oh no, I'm just saying someone asked, can you use a roll instead of a box?
Like a foam roller?
I'm assuming.
How long is it?
I'm assuming it would be short.
So no, it has to be a flat surface because you're going to be putting your hand on it. But again, like I said, if you don't have a block, you can still do the class, and I will demonstrate the 3 ways: with the block, with the book, and without. So you're fine. But yeah, no, not a foam roller, because you need to be able to put your palm flat on it. Okay?
I'll just put my hand up when there's a question.
You'll put your hand up?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you can just tell me no.
Okay,
Whatever.
cool. So going back to what I was saying. So we're going to work to stabilize the shoulder joint. For those of you who are free runners joining us today, and you do a lot of bouldering, a lot of ninja work, weightlifting of any kind, overhead pressing, we want to make sure that we have a shoulder blade that is working well on the rib cage. This is essential to prevent injury of the shoulder. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? We're going to finish with a nice little neck release and then a guided relaxation meditation at the end. So hopefully you guys can leave here feeling strong, but also a little bit more relaxed. Okay, so if anyone has any questions or if anyone's not ready yet, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to get right into the session.
If you just want to wait like 1 minute.
Yeah. We'll wait.
This will be posted for everyone to view afterwards. So if you're having any problems with your feed or can't make it right now, you should be able to watch this after. Of course, once she's done. Not while she's still going, because that would be live.
This is live. So if there are mistakes, they're mistakes. Because it's live.
You should be good.
Yeah? Okay, awesome. So if you have your yoga mat laid out, fantastic. If you don't,
I don't believe this is available on Facebook Live. Not right now, at least, but it should be on Instagram, and you should be able to watch it after it's done.
I'm glad people are here.
Cool.
Oh, okay, cool. So if you have your yoga mat laid out,
Yeah, you have
fantastic.
like 30 people.
Nice. And if you don't have your yoga mat, maybe find some comfortable surface to lie on. Otherwise, we're going to get going. All right, guys.
Laura says you don't make any mistakes.
So Laura is one of my dear friends. Been my student for a really long time. She just said I don't make any mistakes. Thank you, Laura, but maybe I've made mistakes, but you just didn't notice. All right, guys. So we're gonna start down on our backs. Okay, we're gonna start in a position called constructive rest. You're gonna start with your knees bent and the soles of your feet flat on the floor. And preferably your arms away from the body, not touching the body. We're just gonna start with a little bit of breathing, just to build a sense of awareness of where we are, bringing attention to this moment and our bodies, and trying to disassociate from our thinking mind. So take a moment, if you feel ready and comfortable, close your eyes. Maybe take a moment to soften through your fingertips. Feel almost as if your shoulder blades are wrapping underneath you. And just allow the curve of your lower back to be intact. Try not to change it or tuck the bum underneath you. Just find your curve and allow yourself to melt into the floor. So I'm going to give you direction, and I'm going to encourage all of you to do this on your own time and in your own speed. So I'd like you to start with some deep inhales in through your nose, and follow that by a very pronounced exhale through your mouth, so that your exhale is actually audible, meaning you can hear it. So I'd like you to do 5 in your own time. Try to make that exhale long and complete. Feel like you need to take more than 5, please feel free to do so. And after you've finished your 5 breaths, maybe see if you're ready to go to nasal breathing, meaning your inhale and your exhale are moving strictly in and out of the nose. And if for whatever reason you're not ready for that, please go back to inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Take a couple cycles of this. And just understand and accept that your mind will chat and it will pull you in various directions. Think of thoughts as just images that come in trying to steal the spotlight. But just see if you can recognize them for what they are, just simply thoughts, not fact. They don't really need any urgent attention. Just stay with your breathing as best you can. And then once you finish your last breath, maybe take a moment to let your eyes open. And just take a moment to stretch if that feels good for you, especially since it's morning. If that didn't feel long enough, don't worry. We're going to be finishing with a relaxation meditation today. Just take a moment, maybe stretch out, start to get really long. Maybe feel like your back is arching up away from the floor. And And then once you feel ready, come back to the position we started in. So constructive rest, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. So we're gonna get right into things today. We're just gonna start with a simple overhead mobilization exercise of the shoulder. So I'm gonna ask you to take your right arm and reach it up towards the ceiling. So you've got like wrist on top of shoulder. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you're reaching your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers nice and wide, almost as if you're making a jazz hand. And what I want you to think about doing is taking your right shoulder blade and actually pulling it up off the floor. So what that's going to mean is when you pull the shoulder blade up away from the floor, you could actually take your left hand and slide it underneath the shoulder blade, meaning that it's lifting up away from the ground. Now I want you to proceed to start to reach the arm up overhead as far as you can without letting the elbow bend. Now for some of you, the tip of the thumb will actually touch the floor behind you. For some of you, that won't happen. Doesn't mean anything bad or good. Just reach back as far as you can. Now once you get to your final position, I want you to pay attention to the outer border of the right armpit. And I want you to think of pulling that outer border up, meaning you're lifting your shoulder blade up in relation to your upper arm bone. This is incredibly important for those of you who do a lot of gripping and reaching overhead, is learning how to move the shoulder blade with the arm bone. Now slowly start to bring the arm right back up to the starting position so your wrist is back up over your shoulder, and then drop the shoulder blade back down. Simple enough. We're gonna try one of more of those. Pull the shoulder blade up and then start to proceed to reach overhead. If your elbow starts to bend, you've gone too far. I want you to stop before that happens. And if you start to feel like you're kind of wearing your collarbone, which means that you're kind of pulling the neck muscles up towards the chin, then you're lifting too much with the front of the body. Feel like you're descending your collarbone down, but then you're lifting the outer border of the armpit up. That means you're actually using your shoulder blade. Okay. And then slowly bring that right back up. Drop the shoulder blade down and relax that arm. Simple enough to start. Left arm, here we go, same thing. Both arms may be different, be prepared for that, know that that's normal. Again, we're gonna take that left shoulder blade, we're gonna pull it up away from the floor without letting our neck come off, and then slowly start to reach back. And again, for some of you, the tip of the thumb will easily hit the floor. For some of you, that won't happen, don't worry. Again, I want you to think about the outer border of that left armpit. Pull that up. Think of it more of a lift as opposed to a shrug. So we're avoiding using that neck. And then slowly bring that right back up to that starting position and drop the shoulder blade back down. Again, we don't want to bend the elbow, we don't want to wear the neck. Let's try that one more time. Pull the shoulder blade and reach up and over, up and over, up and over, up and over. Nice and controlled. Trying to find an overhead position that works. Reach the outer border of the armpit up. Descend the collarbone down so the throat is open. And then bring all of that right back up and drop the shoulder blade down. Okay. Now for this next piece, this is where you're going to need your prop. Again, if you do not have your prop, I will explain what you're going to do if you don't have a prop. So you're going to grab your block or your book, whatever that might be, and you're going to hold it horizontally up over the chest. Okay, so this would be holding it vertically. You're going to switch it to sort of the height that allows you to hold the block horizontally. Okay, and I want you to think about squeezing the block with the heel of your hand. Okay, you're going to squeeze that block or that book with the heel of your hand, and you're going to reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Now, what I want you to think about doing when you're here is try to imagine that you're trying to squeeze your biceps towards one another. Now, obviously, they're not going to touch because you've got a big block in the way, but I want you to keep that effort of trying to squeeze your biceps. What this is going to do is it's going to create tension in the front of your pec. If you do not have a prop, you can still envision that you're holding something, but think that there's a magnet in between your hands and you're trying to prevent your hands from touching. So really squeeze the inner biceps. Again, you can do the same thing without a prop. Now we're going to work that same overhead motion, except now we're trying to create tension, which will mean that your overhead position might be limited. So I'm going to squeeze that block, and I'm gonna slowly start to reach my arms back. I'm gonna go as far as I can without letting my elbows bend, without pulling my collarbones up so that I've got almost like a double chin. I wanna feel like I'm dropping that down, and I wanna go back as far as I can. I would be surprised if the block hit the floor behind you. It will probably be up off the ground. Now your arms might be shaking, they might be quivering, that's good news. It means you found tension. Now think from the heel of your hand, I want you to squeeze the block as hard as you can and start to find your bicep muscles, preferably the muscles on the inside. Squeeze and hold, and then slowly bring that right back up over the chest, but I want you to keep the tension. So keep squeezing the block with the heel of the hand. Keep thinking of trying to touch your biceps towards one another. Okay, we're gonna do this 5 more times. So I'm slowly gonna squeeze, and I'm gonna reach up and over, 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 up and over. And I'm gonna hold. Once I get to my end position, I'm gonna squeeze even harder, and then I'm gonna slowly bring that up. Now, if any of you are finding that the back of your neck is in an arched position and your shoulder blades are pulling up off the floor, you may need to put something behind your head. So feel free to put your blanket or your second block or even a pillow behind your head. Let's try 3 more of those. Squeeze with the heel of the hand. And I'm going to slowly start to reach back. I want to think that I'm trying to touch my biceps through the entire process. Create that tension in that overhead position. Good. Squeeze, come all the way back up. 2 more there. I'm going to squeeze and reach up and over. I want to find those inside biceps. I want to keep my throat open. Squeeze, reach, right back up. You should start to be feeling some tension in the pec and the inner biceps. If you don't worry. 1 more here. Squeeze and reach back. Now this last one gets a little tricky. We're going to hold this overhead position. If you need a break, take a break. If your arms feel tired, it means you're actually doing it right, so that's good news. So now we're going to add in the neck, the spine, and the abdominals. So holding your overhead position, using the front of your belly, I want you to push your lower back in towards the floor. Now keeping your arm bones exactly where they are, can you start to round your shoulder blades up off the floor? Now for some of you that may not happen. Feel free to stay here, but I want you to hold that tension. Now if you're up here, try to avoid your arms coming forward. Keep them exactly where they were, tuck the chin. Now slowly roll down, allowing your arm bones to move with your spine. Again, push the lower back into the floor, round yourself up. You'll feel a lot of abdominal, okay? Slowly roll down. You might feel like your belly is shaking like mine is. That's okay. Again, push the lower back into the floor, round up. Your fingers might even be feeling numb. That's good. That's blood flow. Slowly lower down. 2 more here. Push that lower back in towards the floor. Round yourself up. Keep the chin slightly tucked. Arm bones, don't let them come forward. Roll down. 1 more here. Push that lower back in the floor. Round yourself up. Squeeze that block. And then slowly lower down. Now I'm sure you're wanting to get out of this position. Slowly take your arm bones right back up over the chest. Take a big breath, and then relax all that down. If your arms aren't dying, I don't know what was happening. My arms are dying. All right, fantastic. You're gonna roll over onto your right side. Okay? Now, we're gonna work a rotation function of the shoulder. So how you're going to set yourself up is you're going to lie on your right side, top knee in line with top hip, and you're going to set your arm bone up kind of like a 90-degree angle with your fist facing the ceiling like you're going to punch somebody. So I want to have my elbow in line with my shoulder and my fist pumping up. Now for some of you, you're going to be comfortable enough to drop your head. For some of you, that's not going to feel great. So you might want to take your block or a towel or a blanket or a pillow and put your head underneath it. No right, no wrong. You guys decide where you feel comfortable. Now, the most important part about what we're going to do here is the back of your shoulder and your tricep must remain on the ground. So to help you do that, you're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna hold your left shoulder, so the ball of the shoulder, that round portion. Now I wanna think that I'm trying to push my tricep down into the floor. And then from there, I'm gonna proceed. Think as if you're almost arm wrestling somebody. And I'm gonna go as low as I can without my shoulder blade coming up off the floor. Okay? So for me, it's about here. And I'm gonna keep pushing that tricep down, and then I'm gonna slowly come back up. Now, you could easily just swing your arm, but we wanna think about tension. Imagine you have a 10-pound weight in your hand, you're pushing that tricep into the floor. So let's keep going here. So I'm gonna rotate the shoulder joint. This is called internal rotation. This is usually where a lot of people have some problems. And we're gonna come right back up. Push the tricep into the floor and think inner rotation. If you have your hand on the shoulder, you might actually even feel like your shoulder's turning inward. Push in and come back up. Okay, let's keep going here. Push down and in. So as you're rotating in, the tricep is pushing into the floor. Good, push in and come back up. Let's try 3 more here. Push down and rotate inward. Try not to kink from the wrist. Keep everything nice and straight. Push in and come back up. 2 more, push down and rotate inward. If Jackie's here, she knows this one very well. It's part of her rehab. Push in and come back up. Last one here, push down and rotate inward. Okay, we're just starting with some simple mobility before we go into our strength work. Push in and come right back up. Fantastic, and relax. Okay, any questions about that one? Some people might be confused, no? Okay, so we're gonna switch to the other side. So I'm gonna switch around this way. You're gonna lie on your left side. Okay, you might even get a little bit of a better angle of what I'm doing from this angle. Again, you can have something behind your head, knees under hips. I'm gonna make that 90-degree angle, and I don't want my shoulder to pull up away from the floor. So we're gonna try 8 of these here. So I'm gonna hold my left shoulder with my right hand so I can feel the arm bone turning. And I'm gonna push the tricep down, and I'm gonna rotate inward. One shoulder might feel cranky, okay? My left shoulder doesn't have as much rotation as my right. I can feel it, it's fine. Come right back up. Again, I'm gonna push down and rotate inward. I wanna think that I'm arm wrestling somebody. I'm gonna go as far as I can. Come right back up. Again, I'm gonna push down and rotate. If your hand is actually coming to the floor, you've obviously gone too far, okay? Come right back up. Push down and in. Push down and back up. Yep, keep that tricep pushing down and rotate inward. Down and come back up. Push down and in. Think of that heavy weight in that hand, okay? You're creating the tension yourself, okay? Try 3 more there. Push down and in. Mobility is about learning to create tension. Down and back. 2 more there. Push down and rotate inward. Down and rotate back. You might even be noticing that your range of motion is increasing because of that blood flow. 1 more. Down and in. And down and back. Fantastic. Beautiful. All right, guys. So we're going to proceed to come up onto our hands and our knees. So for some of you, you might need to put something underneath your knees for support. That's where your blanket's going to come in. Feel free to do so. So first, we're going to talk about hand placement. Everyone's hand placement is going to be very, very different, and you might not find it today. That's fine. So first thing I want you to do is start with elbows under shoulders and have your wrist creases facing forward, which you might think of parallel to the front of your mat. And I want you to spread through your fingers. Now I just want you to start to bend your elbows. Okay? Now if you notice that your elbows are pointing out to the side, your hands are in the wrong place. Okay? This means that we're using too much of the front of the shoulder. Now, for some of you, your elbows might actually be bending behind you. So this might be your hand placement. But for most of us, what we need to do is we actually need to turn our hands out a little bit. And what you'll notice is when you do that, now when I try to bend my elbows, notice how my elbows are pointing straight back behind me. This means that I'm using my chest. This is crucial for the health of the shoulder. Okay, so I'll go over that again. If your hands are in the wrong place, when you bend, your elbows will point out to the side. You'll oftentimes see people do push-ups like this, really stressful for the shoulder. Turn your hands out a little, a lot, play around with it until when you bend your elbows, they point straight back. Okay, if that doesn't make sense, you can always direct message me, or we can meet each other at the gym when it opens back up and we can go over that. Okay, so let's come into hands and knees. So we're going to start with something called scapula push-ups, which is basically push-ups for the shoulder blades. So I'm going to start with my knees underneath my hips. Toes can be curled or uncurled, whatever feels better for you. And I want to find that strong hand placement, and maybe I'll do a little check. Now, with the scapula push-up, the only thing that changes is your upper back. So I want to keep my neck nice and long. Now, all I'm going to do is take the center of my chest and dip it down in between the space between my arms. That's going to create a valley in my shoulder blades. Now the most important one, I'm going to push the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling until my upper back feels full, almost like a dome. And that's going to take a lot of the weight off of your wrists. Okay? So we're going to keep going like that. So I'm going to dip down and I'm going to push up. I'm going to dip down and push. Keep going. Dip and push. Let's do 3 more. Dip, push, 2 more. Dip, push, last one. Dip and push. Okay, now we're going to try another set of that. And one thing I want you guys to take note of, are you bending your elbows? So when you do that dip, are your elbows wanting to bend with you? Almost like you're wanting to do a push-up. Okay, when you dip down, are you taking your low belly with you? Are you shrugging? Okay, a couple things I want you to note. Belly stays held up, elbows remain straight. All I'm doing is dropping and pushing. Now as you're pushing, think about pushing your hands down and your upper back up to the ceiling. Okay, so let's try another set of 10 of those, okay, with those little reminders in mind. So let's come on back to that hand placement we have sort of discovered. Don't worry if it's not perfect. And here we go again. Now let's try 10. So elbows remain straight. I'm going to dip. And 1, push. Dip, push. Neck long, dip, push, dip, push, and dip, and 5, dip, 6, dip, 7, dip, 8, dip, 9, and dip, and 10. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to make this a little bit more challenging. So throughout today's mobility class, we're going to be talking about regressions and progressions. So regressions means that it's a little bit less demanding, less challenging. Doesn't mean that it's not as effective. The progression is going to be a little bit more of the I don't want to use the word advanced, but a little bit more of the challenging version of it. So that scapular push-up, that is going to be the regression, meaning it's going to be more of the simplified. Now we're going to go into the progression, meaning it's a little bit more difficult. If the progression does not work for you, you're going to go back to the regression and stick with the scapular push-ups. Okay, so now we're going to try to add those scapular push-ups with our knees hovering. So from here, I'm going to curl my toes under. I'm going to push my shoulder blades to the ceiling. I'm going to take my knees and I'm going to hover. Just about 1/4 of an inch. Now I want to try to avoid my bum from lifting higher than my shoulders. Okay, and I want to try to avoid my hips from staying side to side. Now I'm going to go into those scapular push-ups. I'm going to dip, push. Let's try 10. Dip, push. Too challenging, keep the knees on the floor. Dip, push, good. Dip, push, and 4, push, 5, belly strong, push, 6, push, 7, push, 8, push, 9, push, and 10, and push. Drop the knees. Beautiful. Really good job, guys. All right, now we're going to proceed to lie on our bellies. So for some of you, those of you especially who I know, lying on your stomach is not the greatest feeling for your low back. And there's simple reasons for it, okay? So a blanket can be really, really helpful. So again, this is optional, but if you're going to put something underneath your belly, you want it to be like a long sort of like rectangle, okay? So you're gonna fold that blanket up. Bilal's laughing. Okay, you're gonna take that blanket and you're gonna put it in the center of your mat, and when you lie down on it, your low belly is supported and your hip creases are supported, okay? You may even need to fold that over one more time. The more height, the better, especially for those of you that struggle with lower back pain, discomfort. For some of you, you won't need this at all, okay? Optional again, okay? Now, from here, we're gonna work some strength in the upper back, trying to bring our shoulder blades towards one another. So let's set up our lower body first. Hip bones must remain in the floor. Push them down into the ground. That's gonna allow you to squeeze your butt cheeks. Point your toes straight back and keep pushing those hip bones into the floor. Now, I'm gonna demonstrate first because you guys are gonna have your heads down. So let me show you just 2 repetitions and then we'll do it together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my forehead. I'm gonna tuck my chin slightly. I'm gonna clasp the hands behind my back of my head. I'm gonna pull my elbows up. Now what I wanna think about doing is reaching my chest forward and up. Now as I go forward and up, I'm gonna try to touch my elbows behind the body, finding tension square across the upper back, tucking my chin slightly. Then from there, I reach forward and down. Notice how I don't drop my elbows. Forward and up, squeeze, forward and down. Okay, so we're gonna try 10 repetitions of those. Now in the up position, we're gonna hold that for 5 counts. And when we're holding that for 5 counts, I want you to think about touching your elbows behind your back. Okay, so let's try that together. Hands behind the head, elbows lift, chin slightly tucked. Push the hip bones to the floor, squeeze the butt. Here we go, reach forward and up. Touch the elbows for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward and down. Forward and up, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward and down. Forward and up, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward and down. Keep going. Reach forward and up, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward and down. Good. Keep going, guys. Reach forward and up and then squeeze the elbows for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward and down. You're trying to lengthen the spine. Again, forward and up. Find that arch of the upper back. Squeeze the elbows. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward and down. Don't let your elbows drop. Again, forward and up. Pinch. Try to find the upper back. A lot of you might feel your neck. That's okay. 3, 2, 1. Normal. Reach forward and down. Again, forward and up. Squeeze. Try to find your low shoulder blades. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward and down. I think that's 7. I don't know. Let's try 3 more. Reach forward and up. Try to touch the elbows for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward and down. 3 more now. Reach forward and up. Touch the elbows. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward and down. Again, reach forward and up and squeeze those elbows for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach forward and down. Beautiful. Great job, guys. Okay, relax for a moment. Now, a lot of you might have felt a lot happening in your neck. I want you to know that's incredibly normal. For a lot of us, when we use our shoulders, we use our neck mostly. So this is teaching you how to use the muscles of your upper back. It will take time. One more exercise here on our belly, but now we're gonna work with our arms out to the side. So you're gonna look like, kind of like Superman. So you're gonna take your arms out to the side, and you wanna have your wrists a little lower than your shoulders, okay? So not like a straight line, a little bit lower than that. And the thumbs are gonna face the ceiling. Now it's gonna be the same action, except this time we wanna think about squeezing the shoulder blades as we lift the arms up, okay? So it's gonna be the same exercise, but except different with the arms. I'll show you one. So from here, I'm gonna reach forward and up. Now I'm gonna lift my arms and I'm gonna squeeze. Now I don't want my neck to look forward, then I'm gonna pinch, nice and long. Then I drop the fingers, then I lower the chest. I reach forward and up, and I lift and I squeeze, then I drop and forward and down. Okay, we're gonna try 10 of those. Again, I'll talk you guys through it. Here we go. Arms up to the side, thumbs face the ceiling, chin slightly tucked. So with my spine, I lengthen forward and up, lifting my chest. Now I reach away and up and I squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the fingers, drop the chest. Again, forward and up, lift the fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the fingers, drop the chest. Again, forward and up, lift, pinch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the chest. Whew. Again, reach forward and up. This is hard. Lift, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the fingers, drop the chest. Again, reach forward and up. Lift, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the fingers, drop the chest. Again, reach forward and up, and then lift, pinch, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop and lower the chest. Last one here, reach forward and up, lift and pinch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop and lower. Whew. All right, you guys can pick yourself up off your belly. So now that we built some heat and some strength and the muscularity of the shoulder blades, now let's put them to use. So if you do have your prop, whether it's a block or a book, you're gonna need it now. If you don't have one, don't worry, I will show how to do this without the block. So I'm just gonna take my block and my book just to show you guys. It's gonna be really simple. So you're gonna come back to your hands and knees position. Now, I'm either going to take my right hand and put it on my block, okay, or I'm gonna put it on my book. Same thing. If I do not have a prop, you're gonna keep the hands on the floor, okay? Now, your hand placement is gonna be the same as it was when you're on hands and knees. I don't want my wrist to be forward, because then I can't properly utilize the muscles of my upper back. So I'm gonna try to find that little turnout, okay? I'm gonna show you from the front first, and then we'll go from the side. So you're gonna feel a little uneven right now. That's what I want you to feel. Now the same knee as the hand that's on the block is gonna hover about maybe like a 1/4 of an inch off the ground. So I'm gonna take that knee and I'm gonna hover it. Now I don't wanna topple over to the left. I wanna keep the front of my belly held up and the sides of my waist really tight. Now what I'm gonna do with the hand that's on the ground is I'm gonna tap it to the shoulder that's on the block, and I'm gonna push that shoulder blade up to the ceiling. And as I do that, I wanna think that top position of that scap push-up, okay? And then I'm just gonna put that hand back down. So I'm gonna keep hovering the knee the entire time, and I'm gonna tap the hand to the shoulder, I'm gonna push the shoulder blade to the ceiling, and I'm gonna drop the hand down, okay? Cool with that one? So we're gonna try 10. So all I'm doing is tapping the hand to the shoulder and pushing the shoulder blade to the ceiling. Okay, so let's try 10 together. So I'm gonna hover the right knee because my right hand's on the block. I'm gonna look down. Now I'm gonna tap the left hand to the right shoulder and I'm gonna push the shoulder blade to the ceiling. Drop the left hand down. Tap to the right shoulder, push it to the ceiling, knee remains hovering, drop down. Tap, push, drop down, tap, push, drop down, keep going.
Is
tap.
your foot still on the floor? Are both your feet still on the floor?
Well, no, because you're hovering the knee. You can't hover the knee with your toes. Yeah, so the knee is hovering. Good question, though.
So only one foot's on the floor?
So only the foot of the knee that is not on the ground is on the floor, so your left foot. Okay, so the right knee's hovering. Okay, so I'm going to tap and push, drop down. Tap, push, drop down. Good. Tap, push, drop down, tap, push. Don't worry, guys. We're going to do 2 sets of this if you're confused. Don't worry. Again, tap, push, drop down. 2 more. Tap, push, drop down, tap, push, drop down. Okay? Think of the first set as like a practice, and we'll do the second set. You'll probably feel a lot of abdominal happening. Good. Okay? So now I'm going to do the left side. So now my left hand's going to be on the block. My left knee and toes are going to hover. Okay? So let's try 10. So I'm going to tap the left hand to the left shoulder blade. Just need the right hand to the left shoulder blade. And I'm going to push the shoulder blade to the ceiling. Drop down. Tap, push. Try not to teeter the hips. Drop down. Tap, push. 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 Drop down. 3 more. Tap, push. Drop down. Tap, push. Drop down. Tap, and push. Drop down. Beautiful. Okay? So we're going to try one more set of that. I want you guys to really emphasize pushing that shoulder blade to the ceiling, trying to find the muscularity of that shoulder blade area, outer border of the armpit. Try to keep your hips nice and level, the obliques nice and tight, and the belly nice and stiff. Cool? All right, let's try that again. So now we're going to flip the block over to the right hand. Hand placement still the same, turn them out. Elbows should point back behind you. Okay? Knee of the block is going to hover. Left hand to right shoulder. Push. Drop. Tap. 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 Push. Drop. 2 more. Tap. Push. Drop. Tap. Push. Drop. Good. The more you push, the better. Bilal has his hand up.
Is it normal to have burning shoulders while doing this?
So define burning. Burning in muscularity burning or burning in pain burning?
Must be muscularity burning.
Oh yeah. The fact that you are burning your shoulder means you're doing it right. It means you're learning how to turn on those muscles that stabilize the shoulder under load, which is body weight. So that's actually good news. If it's burning like pain burning, like an inflammation burning, then that's not good. But if it's burning like my shoulder feels like it's gonna explode with tension, then you're good.
It says muscle burning.
Yeah, then who is that?
Laura.
Oh, Laura. Yes, Laura, that's good. You should know the answer to that. All right, so we're gonna go to the other side. She's got a little bit left. All right, now we're gonna go to the other side. Your shoulders feels like it's burning, guys. You are creating tension. Really good news, okay? So let's try the other side. So now I'm gonna hover the same knee as the block, left knee as the block, and we're gonna try 10 repetitions here, okay? So right hand to left shoulder. Push, drop down, tap, push, drop down, tap, push, drop down, tap, push, drop down, tap, push really hard, guys, drop down, side to the waist tight, tap, push, down, tap, push, down, tap, push, down, 2 more, tap, push, down, tap, push, and down. Awesome, beautiful. All right, guys. So now we're gonna go to a progression of what we just did, which means that it's a little bit more challenging. If the progression does not work today, I encourage you to go right back to where we were with just one knee hovering. So now we're gonna try to do it with the leg extended like a plank. This one's pretty tough, I'm gonna warn you, but I definitely encourage you guys to try. But if it's not working, you're gonna go right back to having just the knee, or that one knee hovering. So let me show you like a plank. So now, I'm gonna set my hands up like a plank, but now I'm gonna extend my legs out straight. And I'm gonna bring them about mat distance apart, so I have like a diamond, okay? Now, I don't want my hips to teeter. I want to keep them parallel to the floor. I wanna push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, and I wanna tuck my butt underneath me so I'm using my low abdominals. So now I'm gonna take that left hand, I'm gonna tap it to the right shoulder, I'm gonna push, drop down, tap, push, drop down, tap, too much today, you're just going to go back to right hand on right block, right knee hovering. Cool? Everybody good with that? So we're gonna try 10 reps. It's really hard. I may get out of breath, so just prepare for that. All right, so right hand's gonna go on the block. I'm either going to hover my right knee like I did before, or I'm gonna extend my legs out like a plank, bring them wide, about mat distance apart. I'm gonna push the shoulder blades to the ceiling. I'm gonna scoop the butt underneath me, so I'm using my low abdominals, okay? And when I'm ready, left hand to right shoulder, push, drop down, tap, 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 push, drop down, 3 more, tap, push, drop down, tap, push, and down, tap, push, and down. Okay, I'm sweating. Is anyone else sweating? Any thumbs up coming? All right, so we're gonna switch to the other side. Now, if you have the legs extended, we wanna watch that we're not turning the hips. We wanna keep them parallel to the floor. Okay, so let's try the left side. So you're either gonna have the left knee hovering to match the hand on the block, or you're gonna extend back like a plank. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna step back. My legs are gonna be about mat distance. I'm gonna push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, scoop the butt underneath me, and when I'm ready, right hand to left shoulder, tap, push, drop, 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 2 more, tap, push, drop, tap, push, drop. Whew. Very good job, guys. All right.
Lots of thumbs up.
Lots of thumbs up. Oh, so then maybe that means we should do another set. I think so. My armpits are sweating like crazy. All right, we're gonna do another set just because I got all those thumbs up. So again, if you're hovering the knee, hover the knee. If you're going to plank, let's go. Okay, so right hand on the block. Okay, step back like a plank, or right knee hovers. Scoop the butt underneath you. Push the shoulder blades to the ceiling. Here we go, guys. Left hand to right shoulder. Tap, push, down. 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 2 more. Tap, push, down. Tap, push, down. Drop. Beautiful.
What do you do if your wrists hurt while doing that?
So very good question. I figured that that was going to come up at some point. So wrist pain, when you're doing weight bearing exercises, oftentimes it's actually not coming from your wrist. I can't say that for sure because you're not in front of me. I'm not watching you as you're doing this. But 9 times out of 10, I say this with confidence, wrist pain, usually unless you have some type of a diagnosis, carpal tunnel, ulnar nerve degeneration, some type of nerve disorder in the neck, 9 times out of 10, wrist pain is actually coming from a weakness in the shoulder blades. Okay? So I would definitely encourage you to know that wrist pain with weight bearing is really normal. It takes time to build that strength. Think about how often in life we actually put weight on our hands. It's not very often, okay? Building strength in this position, which is called shoulder extension, is definitely something I encourage. And that's actually maybe a post or a video that I should do on wrist pain and how to get better at putting weight on your hands. It also could mean that your hands are in the wrong place for your structure. And what I mean by that is maybe that hand is turned out too much, not enough, or it's turned in. Okay, so hand placement is very unique to your own skeleton and your own structure. There's no such thing as one cue or one size fits all because we're all different. Okay, so that top position of the scapular push-up, That's what I want you to really try to build strength in, okay? And this is something that you can shoot me an email, and is it a member of Freerun?
It's Carol.
Oh, Carol, okay. Oh, okay, well that makes sense, Carol, because of your elbow. But you and I will talk about that, cool? But for everybody else, strength. Okay, so now let's go to the left side and then we're gonna move on. So, left side, plank, or left knee hovering, step on back, push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, scoop the butt underneath you. Here we go. Tap, really push, guys. Fill up that upper back, drop down. Tap, push, drop. 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 Two more. Tap, push, drop. Tap, push, drop. Whew. All right. If you're not warm, I don't know what's happening. All right. Last little bit of strength work, and then we'll go into our release work. So this one's a little tricky. So we're going to start with the regression, and then we're going to progress. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to drop down to your forearms. Let's give your wrists a little bit of a break. You're going to bring your palms together like a prayer position. And you're going to open your elbows not so wide that they're wider than the shoulders, kind of like stacked underneath. Now what I want you to do is I want you to walk your knees back as far as you can so that your shoulders and your hips are in one line. So you're too far if you're down here because you're sagging your belly, and you're too close if your butt's in the air. Okay? So I'm going to walk back enough that my toes are curled under and my shoulders and my hips are in one line. Now we're going to utilize that strength that we just built in one arm here, as well as in our abdominals. So what I want to think about doing, think of that top position of the scap push-up. I'm going to push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, and I'm going to scoop the butt underneath me. Now this is where it gets a little tough. I want to think about putting the majority of my weight in my left arm. So I'm going to push my left shoulder blade to the ceiling, and I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to reach it alongside my body. Now you're going to want to turn your right hip open. Keep that right hip down. Arm alongside the body, push that left shoulder blade to the ceiling, repair your arms. Now I'm going to push the right shoulder blade to the ceiling, left arm alongside the body. Come on back. Keep switching. Left shoulder blade to the ceiling, right arm alongside the body. Come on back, push the right shoulder blade to the ceiling, left arm. Come on back, one more each side, left shoulder blade to the ceiling, right arm alongside the body. Come on back, right shoulder blade to the ceiling, left arm alongside the body. Come on back. Cool? All right, that was the easy one. If we want to make this a little bit more challenging, we're going to do it with the legs extended in like a plank. So it's going to look like this. So I'm going to find that same position, shoulders over elbows, push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, scoop the butt underneath me. Now I'm going to push the left shoulder blade to the ceiling, and without teetering, right arm alongside the body. Come on back. Right shoulder blade to the ceiling, left arm alongside the body. Come on back. Super challenging, super tough. You're going to want to sway your hips. We're going to try this one, 5 each side. If you have to keep the knees on the floor, feel free to. If you want to straighten your legs out, let's go for it. Cool? Thumbs up from people? I'm sweating like a crazy person. All right, so you're either going to keep knees on the floor, but not dumping through the belly, hold the belly up, or we're going to go straight into that plank. Okay? Pull the chest forward through your shoulders. Again, you got to utilize your upper back. Push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, scoop the butt underneath you, push the left shoulder blade to the ceiling, right arm alongside the body. Come on back. Right shoulder blade, left arm. Come on back. Left shoulder blade, right arm. Come on back. Right shoulder blade push, left arm. Come on back. Left shoulder blade push, right arm. Come on back. Right shoulder blade push, left arm. Come on back. One more each, guys. Left shoulder blade push, right arm. Come on back. Right shoulder blade push, left arm. Come on back. Awesome. Drop your knees. Whew. Shake it out. Really, really good job, guys. All right. We have one more piece to do, and then we're gonna move into our cool down. Any questions so far? Fantastic. Okay. So, the most important part about having a healthy shoulder is being able to put weight on it, especially with one hand. Again, we're gonna work with regressions and progressions here. So you're actually gonna turn the long way on your mat now, okay? So you're on that sort of long horizontal length. Now to make this really simple, you're gonna set yourself up the back of your mat, okay? Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you on my, let's all do our left side first because we'll make it a little bit easier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my left knee, I'm gonna stack it underneath my left hip. I'm gonna extend my right leg out towards the right, pushing the outer edge of the foot into the floor.
You turn to face.
Want me to turn this way?
Yeah, just a little less, like there, and then move to your left.
Okay.
A little more. Perfect.
Okay, so my left knee is under my left hip. My right leg is extended. Now, what I'm gonna do with my left arm is I'm gonna walk it over so that my hand is in line with my knee and my elbow is under my shoulder. So if I'm too far forward, if my hand is forward of my knee, this isn't gonna work. I wanna be in one diagonal line from my wrist to my knee to my foot. Now this hand, I'm gonna turn it out a little bit, and what I wanna emphasize is without moving my hand, I wanna turn my bicep towards the thumb. You see how I did with my bicep? I turned it towards the thumb. Now I'm gonna push the floor away from me and I'm gonna turn my chest open and take my top arm up. Okay, now I want you to feel like your left shoulder blade is on your rib cage. Scoop it on there as you turn open. Okay, feel like your bottom hip is lifted. If you're collapsing the shoulder blade, your wrist is gonna feel heavier. Push down, turn open up. Now, for some of you, this is where you're going to stay. For some of you, you're gonna go on to the progression, meaning a little bit more challenging, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swing my bottom leg through straight, and I'm gonna stack my top foot in front of me and swing my bottom leg through, so I'm on the outer edge of the bottom foot. Lift up out of the shoulder blade, no collapsing. Push down, turn open. Lift that bottom hip. Hold. Now for some of you, you're gonna stay here. For some of you, you're still here. Okay? For some of you, we're gonna try to take that top leg and stack it right on our bottom leg. Lift that bottom hip, turn the chest open, hold. You're either here, you're here, or you're here. Hold for 5 more seconds, guys. Good, and then carefully spin yourself down and relax. Now for some of you that might have felt really challenging. You might have felt a lot in the wrist. But again, this is showing you what we need to work on. Our joints are meant to bear weight. So getting stronger through that upper back, building a stronger relationship between the upper arm bone and the shoulder blade will over time take that pressure off of the wrist and potentially give you longer or healthier shoulders long term. Cool? Let's try the other side. All right, so we're gonna go to the left side. So now we're gonna do that same thing, but we're gonna go on the right side because we just did our left side. So now I'm gonna take my right knee again, I'm gonna put it under my hip, and I'm gonna extend my left leg over. Now I'm gonna walk myself over now with my right hand again, in line with my knee, diagonal line, wrist, knee, foot. Turn my hand out, turn the bicep to the thumb, push down into the floor, turn the chest open, top arm up, okay? I wanna feel like I'm lifting my bottom hip high and really working to turn the bicep to the thumb, okay? For some of you, you're gonna stay here. Get really good at this position. For everyone else, you're gonna go to the progression. Top foot in front of you, bottom leg extends, flexing that ankle, lift the bottom hip high. Feel like your shoulder blade is stacked on your rib cage. If you want to progress, you'll take your top foot and you'll stack it. You'll lift the bottom hip high, you'll hold. Doesn't matter if you're here, or if you're here. Same rules apply with the arm movement. Let's hold for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, guys, very good job. Let's progress into our cool down. So you're gonna come to a seated position, preferably cross legs. If that doesn't work for you, I'll give you some options. Ideally sit up on something, your block, your book, a blanket, or a pillow, okay? I'm gonna turn sideways for you guys to see. And you're gonna sit right at the edge of your prop, okay? If cross-legged does not suffice for some of you, okay? You can just have your feet on the floor or your legs out in front of you, but I want you to be nice and tall, okay? So here we are. Nice little cool down, sit up nice and tall, okay? Take your right arm out in front of you, bring it a little wider than your shoulder. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that arm and I'm gonna reach it as far back behind me as I can without turning my chest. I wanna keep my chest facing forward. Now I'm gonna flip that palm to face away from me, and I'm gonna bend the elbow and wrap the arm behind the body. And I'm gonna try to take my thumb as far up my upper back as it will go. Okay, for some of you, this is gonna be a little uncomfortable in the front of the shoulder. If that's happening, bring your arm lower. Okay, some of you will get wide up, right it to the upper back. For some of you, that's gonna be too much. Stay. Now let's find our breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Let's try to stay nasal. Inhale. Exhale. One more there. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now we're going to release the arm. We're going to take it back behind us so our palm faces back behind. Okay, we're going to flip the thumb to face the floor and reach the arm back out in front of us. Let's try one more of those. Reach the arm back behind you, flip the palm behind, bend, and crawl the thumb as far up the upper back as it will go. If there's pain in the front of the shoulder, bring the arm lower. Okay, let's take 3 breaths. One more. Good. Release the arm. Thumb turns to face the floor. Arm out in front of you. Relax. Same thing left side. Left arm out in front of you. A little wider than the shoulder. Take the arm back behind you. Don't turn the chest. Flip the palm. Bend the elbow and crawl your thumb as far up the upper back as it will go without discomfort in the front of the shoulder. Both sides may be different in range. That's okay. 3 breaths here. One more. Slide the arm back down. Flip the thumb to face the floor. Reach the arm out in front of you. One more here, guys. Arm back behind you. Bend. Crawl the arm up. 3 breaths. Try to stay nasal. Good. Release the arm. Thumb faces the floor. Sweep the arm back in front of you. Drop down. Quick little neck release just to get in the muscles of the back of the neck. We're going to do some chin tucks. Take your first and middle finger of your right hand or left hand, doesn't matter. Place it in the center of your chin. Now you want to give yourself a double chin. So you're actually going to push your head back. So I'm going to push my head back, so I'm creating a double chin. Now I'm going to take my chin and peel it and push it into my chest. So I'm trying to find all the muscles from the base of the skull all the way down. Now I'm going to come right back up. I'm going to push my head back again, chin, glue it to the chest. Come back up. Now we're going to breathe. Inhale back, push the head back. Exhale, chin to chest. Come on back. 2 more there. Inhale, push the head back. Exhale. Come on up. 1 more there. Inhale, push the head back. Exhale. Good, guys. Come on up. Beautiful. All right. Let's go back to where we started. So go ahead and come up off your prop. Come right back down onto your back in that constructive rest position. One last position here before we move into our relaxation meditation. So you're going to come back to that constructive rest position. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Not being rigid with range of motion here. You're just going to take your right arm, reach it over your head. You're going to take your right leg extended out straight. Now think that you're being pulled apart. Think that someone's pulling on your right wrist, they're pulling on your right heel, and they're stretching you apart. Let the right side of your spine arch away from the floor. Now you're going to take your head, you're going to lift it up off the ground. You're going to look over towards the left. You're going to drop your left ear down. So I'm taking my head and moving it away from the right arm, and I'm reaching. Let's hold here for 2 breaths. Good. Now slowly lift the head up, turn it back to neutral so you're looking up, drop the head down, put the hand and the foot back on the floor. Good. Left side, left arm overhead, left leg out straight. Now get really long, stretch. Feel like the left side of your body is getting longer and longer and longer. Someone's pulling on your left wrist, they're pulling on your left ankle. Now you're going to lift the head, you're going to turn over towards the right, and you're going to drop that head. And get longer. 2 full breaths. Good. Lift the head, bring it back up, drop everything back down. All right, guys, we're going to take about maybe 3 to 5 minutes to take our relaxation meditation, and then we're going to finish from there. So I encourage you to come to a position that you can be comfortable in. Ideally, this is ideal, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. If you want to cover yourself up with your blanket, or you want to roll over onto one side, or you want to lie on your belly, that's absolutely fine. I just encourage you to find a position that you can commit to, that you could be still in. So give you guys a moment, find your position of choice. If you'd like to place your hands on your belly, feel free to do so. Otherwise, take a moment to close your eyes. And without force, just start to listen to the subtle rhythm of your breathing. Start to listen to the sounds that are inside the room. Start to listen to the sounds directly around your body. And finally, start to listen to the sounds that are within your body. Start to feel your legs getting heavier. Feel the torso melting down into the floor. Allow the heaviness in your shoulders to draw them back into the ground. Letting go of the need to hold your body in this position. Allow it to just give up control and melt. Start to feel the ground rise up around you as you melt down deeper and deeper into the floor. Softening through your face, your jaw, letting your tongue rest heavy in your mouth. Allowing yourself to be exactly as you are. And again, just allowing thoughts to come and go. Try not to let them carry you into stories. Start to come back to the sounds within your body. The sounds around your body. The sounds inside the room. The sound of your breath. Now for some of you, you may choose to stay here in this position. Maybe you found a nice comfortable rhythm and you're feeling like you want to take a few moments to be still and silent. If that's you, I encourage you to maybe shut off the video and stay exactly where you are. I want to thank you, everybody, for joining me today. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out and message through the Free Run Instagram, and I will get back to you. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed having you here. Have a fantastic day. Be well. Take care of each other. Bye, guys.
Great job.